What happens to a business who breaks an environmental law? In most cases, nothing. We want to change that. We're EcoSpace, an organization that dedicates itself to empowering others to create a positive environmental impact in our own communities. I'm Andrea, and along with Allison, Eric, and Regan, we began to make this vision a reality.
Throughout the week, we validated several problems, and we also uncovered a few additional problems with our validation research. We found that for our target audience, which was college students, environmental data was very inaccessible to them. And then on the business side, we found that a lot of companies actually aren't aware of their environmental impact. And then together, both were unsure how to take action to be more sustainable. So our solution is twofold. For students, it's about empowering them to create meaningful change with visualized data, easy to understand insights, and then actionable next steps. For businesses, we want to provide that same data, but tailored to their needs and resources to help them reduce their environmental impact.
We began by validating the student perspective. How much do college students actually care, and what's the best way to target them? As you can see, over 80% of college-age respondents saw value in environmental information, yet when it comes to environmental policy, nearly that same amount claimed to have no knowledge. We knew we wanted to bridge this gap, but how? That's where our validation insight comes in. Over 70% of correspondents used websites to find information on important issues. Since the environment is clearly important to this demographic, we knew we had found a way to tie these two insights together.
On the qualitative side of our data, we talked to a college student and a nationwide employee, and we found that college students do really care about companies' environmental impacts, and they incorporate this knowledge into their decisions, including whether to work for a company. Speaking to an individual from Nationwide Insurance, we found that environmental initiatives actually help the company as well. Businesses that lower their environmental impact also significantly lower their operating costs. We also learned on the business side, there is currently no universal way for companies to display environmental data. So EcoSpace could potentially help address this unmet need as well.
So from the results of our survey, we wanted to create a prototype. So we created a website that lets you view businesses in your community that may be polluting a little bit more than they should be. Our example is Bob's Shoe Factory. We have an example here of our interpretation of the EPA data to make it easier to understand. And based on two things in our survey, we found that people really wanted to be able to share this stuff on social media and to be able to start or join existing petitions to help affect change. We then built a second prototype.
In this prototype, we really wanted to give students three options. First, to look at businesses that have current EPA violations in their area. Second, to see businesses near them that are going above and beyond and doing good for the environment. And lastly, to read news articles about current events that may impact them or their community. Most importantly, we wanted to give students a variety of meaningful action items that we knew that they would be likely to complete, such as sharing on social media, signing petitions, donating to causes, or leaving bad reviews on websites. And then this would be the web browser version of our prototype.
As a social enterprise, we have several revenue ideas we'll continue to explore beyond this week. The first is providing businesses with personalized environmental audits and resources based on that information. The second is for sustainable businesses to pay us to highlight them on our platforms to give them a wider audience.
So some of the next steps we want to do, we want to continue iterating on our prototypes. We want to reach out to businesses. We want to reach out to college students. We're only acting with one data source. We want to incorporate more data sources. We specifically need to know what businesses would be willing to pay for and what they'd be interested in our data, and how much to charge them.
We're asking for a total of $2,380. We'll use this money for further validation and to build our website and brand. We believe that by working with companies and students, we can all make a difference and leave the planet better than we found it. Thank you. And this was EcoSpace.